Well, we wouldn't be Weather Nation if we weren't talking temperatures, right? Thankfully, we've got some experts to help us along. NASA Chief Scientist Dr. Kate Calvin is with us. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Calvin, as we continue to talk about some of these temperatures globally. You guys, NASA and NOAA, both worked together and looked at some of the global temperatures for this past year. How does 2024 rank when the dust settled?
2024 is the hottest year on our record. It was about 2.3 degrees Fahrenheit above the 1951 to 1980 average. And collectively, these last 10 years have been the warmest since modern record keeping began.
And us people, us humans, have a couple of different ways to monitor our temperature. How do you do that with the world, and how do you guys monitor it over a long stretch to get the climate aspect of things?
Yeah, so the temperature update that we provided today is based on surface temperature observations. So we have millions of observations from around the world, including thousands on land at surface weather stations, as well as ships and buoys over the ocean. And by looking at those, we have these records that go back to 1880, and we can look at regional and average temperature back to 1880 and how that has changed over time. At NASA, we can also observe and measure temperature from space using satellites. We have a shorter record on this, so we only have several decades. But when we compare the temperature records that we see from satellites with the ones we're getting from surface weather, we see the same trend.
And what do you guys expect to see going forward into the future in terms of the heat and these global events?
So the overall trend towards warmer years is driven by greenhouse gases. So how much warmer it gets in the future depends on future emissions of greenhouse gases. As long as the levels of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere continue to rise, we'll continue to see warming. That doesn't mean that every year we'll break a record, but we'll see an overall trend towards warming.
Dr. Kate Calvin with NASA, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm.